This pole shape trick I've heard most commonly called the pocket knife. If you have other names for it, please send them my way. But pocket knife seems appropriate because it kind of looks like pocket knife with all the tools kind of opened up. So this move is going to stem from a brass monkey. So you should be 100% solid in your brass monkey from any entrance. Doesn't matter how you like to get into your brass monkey, but you should be comfortable getting into it. From there, I would strongly encourage you to have had some experience with perhaps a butterfly, because to take your brass monkey to this move, it requires a significant push with that bottom arm. For a lot of polars, our brass monkey is more contingent upon that leg hook, and this pocket knife variation is totally taking that leg hook out of play, which means that bottom arm takes the place of keeping us out of the don't die area, or in the don't die area, as that knee hook comes undone. Okay, so you should be familiar and or have some experience with the butterfly, I would recommend, and then 100% solid with your brass. So let's talk about what's going on here. We're going to do it right side up first, just so sometimes upside down brain, we get upside down, our brain shut down. So I would strongly encourage you to kind of do this along with me, right side up, so that you can feel what's going on. So when we get into our brass monkey, that inside leg is hooked. That inside arm, we're feeling that squeeze, okay? Different polars learn brass monkey different ways. Sometimes their primary contact points vary a little bit. So I want to talk about what we need specifically to make this brass monkey turn into this pocket knife. This inside arm, sometimes we're holding on, but we're not necessarily squeezing. But to start this transition, that squeeze, kind of similar to like what you would do in like a jade split where you pull your leg across, is now going to become really important. Okay, so that inside arm, we're squeezing, so we're basically smushing bicep to chest, boob, whatever's there. Okay, so I'm really pushing this in here. Okay, height of this arm is going to vary depending on what look you like. Okay, what look are you going for? Do you like it when the arms or legs are closer together, more 90 degrees, whatever? Okay, I would say if the arm is too much straight up and down, this would be if we're upside down, you start to lose some of that gripping point, but keeping it anywhere from like a 45-ish out to a 90-ish, anywhere in there is going to give you the grip that you need to have, and it just becomes personal preference for what look you want, okay? So that arm, we're making sure that we're squeezing. The legs, what's going to happen once we're upside down, the last thing to happen in the pocket knife is for this knee to unhook, okay? That's if we've already gone through all our other checkpoints and we're like, okay, arm, check, other arm, check, what's happening with the other leg, check. And then if we feel safe and secure, then we straighten this leg, okay? And with that leg, once it does straighten, I would recommend, you're still going to have a little bit of contact point right here. Not enough contact point to save your life if the other ones come out, which is why you want to make sure that those arms are where they need to be beforehand, okay? And then the other leg, the one that was the outside leg, depending on how secure you are in your brass monkey and or transitioning to this pocket knife, generally speaking, I find most pullers keep that outside leg in that same brass monkey spot. It really doesn't move. That foot is behind the pole. It doesn't change position. But if you're feeling super solid in your brass monkey handstand and you want to start to open that leg up more so that neither leg is fully touching, do you go, okay? So let's talk about what's happening with that bottom arm. That is the most important component to make this pocket knife work. That bottom arm, once we get into it, you're going to want to, once again, we're doing this right side up so that you can feel what's going on. Well, my words are making sense when you're right side up. That bottom arm, when you get into it, sometimes in brass monkey, that arm has a little bend in it. I want you to instead reach that arm down so that it's straight. And then once it is reached, you're going to push out of it. Okay, so as if your bottom arm, you're trying to push your toes up towards the ceiling. So similar kind of push that we would have out of that bottom arm that we would have in like a handspring or a butterfly, okay? Because like I said, now as we take this brass monkey to a pocket knife, that bottom arm becomes crucial, okay? So let's go through our checkpoints. We're gonna enter our brass monkey, whatever entrance you want. I have short pull problems here, so I'm just gonna hop into it, down and dirty, okay? So from this brass, my inside arm, I've got that squeeze, right? My bottom arm, I'm gonna reach down and I'm pushing away with it, okay? I'm pushing. If that feels solid, that top leg opens and we're right here in our pocket knife. And then rehook that leg when you're done, re-grab, exit however you would like to exit your brass monkey, okay? So if this move has eluded you before, I strongly recommend that you check in with that bottom arm because that bottom arm in this move is your lifeline. This move works on spin or static. I recommend starting with it on static, or at least a very gentle spin, only because as we unhook that leg, it does kind of change a little bit with centripetal force. But if you're someone that loves spin like I do, it really doesn't make much difference once you're comfortable with the move. And it doesn't matter which direction that you're spinning. Okay, you can spin clockwise, counterclockwise, same side, brass monkey, doesn't make a difference. So play around with this one. Fun one for photo shoots. Okay, put it into your combos on spin, on static. Let me see those pocket knives this upcoming week. Let me know how they go.